Hey, be honest with me for just a second. How many times have you checked your phone today? Was it once? Twice? Or did you, like me, lose count somewhere after the 50th time you unlocked that screen? Yeah, I get it. I was there too. I was addicted. I was scrolling for hours, literally pouring my life, my precious, unrepeatable moments into a glowing rectangle. I was convincing myself, lying to myself, that I was just taking a break, but in reality, my brain was completely fried. My ability to focus on anything meaningful, it was gone. My motivation to pursue my goals, missing in action. My life was becoming a series of fragmented, half-remembered digital moments. But then something shifted. Boom. I broke free. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I dismantled that digital prison, brick by brick. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how you can do it too. There's no fluff here, no generic, useless advice you've already heard a million times. These are the real, actionable, sometimes uncomfortable steps that actually work. Let's begin. Let me paint a picture for you, and I want you to tell me honestly if this sounds familiar. The clock on the wall says it's 2 in the morning. I'm lying in bed. My eyes are physically burning from the strain, and my thumb is on autopilot, scrolling through an endless feed of short form videos. I know with absolute certainty that I won't remember a single one of them in the morning. My alarm is set for 7 a.m., but who are we kidding? I'm going to hit that snooze button at least 5 times, maybe more. Each time negotiating with myself for just a few more minutes of restless sleep. That was my life every single night. It was a ritual of self-sabotage, a quiet prayer to the gods of procrastination. Then one day, the day that everything changed, I dared to look. I opened my phone settings and checked my screen time. 7 freaking hours a day. Let that number sink into your bones for a moment. 7 hours. That is a full-time job without the pay, without the benefits, without the sense of accomplishment. That's 49 hours a week. Over 2,500 hours a year that I was just giving away. That was time I could have used to learn a new language, to write a book, to get in the best shape of my life, or to simply sit and have an uninterrupted conversation with someone I love. And in that moment, staring at that glowing number, it hit me like a physical blow. This wasn't just a bad habit. This wasn't a quirky personality trait. This was a full-blown addiction. My phone, this sleek piece of glass and metal, owned me. And I was just done. I finally saw the Matrix for what it was. I was trapped in an endless, vicious, and perfectly designed loop. I would wake up, and before my feet even touched the floor, the first thing I would reach for was my phone. Then I'd scroll mindlessly through breakfast, my food getting cold as I consumed a diet of digital junk. I would procrastinate on the important work I needed to do, the creative projects I claimed to care about. This procrastination would inevitably lead to a rising tide of stress and anxiety about all the things I hadn't accomplished. And how did I cope with that crushing stress? You guessed it. I would numb myself by diving even deeper into the scroll. The cycle was relentless, a serpent eating its own tail. And the worst part, the most insidious and terrifying part, was that I genuinely believed I was in control. I thought I was choosing to pick up my phone. In reality, my phone and the sophisticated algorithms powering it controlled me, but not anymore. I made a decision right then and there, lying in my bed with the ghost of that 7 hour number haunting me. I was going to break free. No more wasting my life staring at a screen. I had to take action. And that's exactly what I did. But before I walk you through the how, you absolutely must understand the why. Why are you? Why are we so hopelessly addicted in the first place? It's not a moral failing. It's not a lack of willpower. It's brain chemistry, pure and simple. You see, your brain is a marvel of evolution, but it's wired with a very primitive system. It loves quick, easy hits of a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Every single time you scroll and see something new, something novel, you get a tiny reward. Ding, a funny meme, Dang, a shocking news headline. Dang, someone you barely know liked your post from 3 years ago. Your brain's reward system. The same system that's meant to encourage survival behaviors like finding food and a mate lights up and screams, "Yes, this is amazing. Let's do this forever." But here's the catch. Here's the secret that multi-billion-dollar tech companies have built their empires on. Dopamine isn't the happiness chemical. It's the wanting chemical. Its entire purpose is to make you seek, to make you desire, to keep you chasing that next hit. It never, ever lets you feel truly satisfied. It's a feature, not a bug. That's the core of the addiction. That's why just one more video inevitably turns into 10, then 100, and then suddenly, boom, it's midnight and you have to be up in 6 hours. The social media apps you use every single day, they know this. They are meticulously, brilliantly designed to keep you hooked. The infinite scroll, the autoplay videos, the little red notification bubbles that scream for your attention, all of it is a trap. It's a trap engineered by some of the smartest people in the world to capture and monetize your most valuable, non-renewable asset, your attention. And I was stuck deep in it until I finally understood the mechanics of my own prison and decided to break the cycle. And it's not just about the reward system either. Excessive screen time fundamentally rewires your brain and messes with your ability to focus on real-life tasks. Have you ever wondered why it feels physically painful to sit down and read a book? Or to concentrate on a single work project for more than 10 minutes after you've spent hours on your phone? It's because your brain has been trained like a circus animal to crave constant, rapid-fire stimulation. The moment you try to focus on something slower paced, something that requires deep, uninterrupted thought, your brain rebels. It feels unbearable. It feels boring. And you find yourself instinctively reaching for your phone to escape that discomfort, to get another hit. But the good news, the really good news, is that you can retrain your brain. This is not permanent damage. And it all starts with awareness. I went down a rabbit hole. I started researching exactly how these social media companies design their platforms to hijack our attention. I learned that apps like Instagram and TikTok use the exact same psychological tricks as casino slot machines. They rely on what's called a variable reward schedule, infinite loops, and bright, stimulating colors to keep you pulling that lever, to keep you scrolling for as long as humanly possible. Once I realized that I was being actively and intentionally manipulated, that my time and my energy and my focus were being stolen from me for profit, I became furious. I became determined to fight back. Here's how I did it. The very first thing I did was make my phone as annoying and as boring as humanly possible. I went deep into my phone's accessibility settings and I turned my screen to grayscale. That's right, black and white. No more bright, colorful, juicy-looking icons screaming, "Click me? Click me." This simple, almost trivial change instantly made my phone less visually appealing. Without those vibrant, stimulating colors, the notifications and app icons lost their power, their allure. My phone suddenly felt dull, utilitarian, and uninteresting. And guess what? That's exactly what I needed. It went from being a digital playground to being a simple tool. Next, I performed a digital declutter. I removed every single social media app from my home screen. I didn't delete them just yet. I just buried them. I put them all into a single folder and moved that folder to the very last page of my app library. If I wanted to check Instagram, I had to consciously swipe multiple times, open the folder, and find the app. That tiny bit of extra effort, that small point of friction, was the entire point. The more friction I added between me and the addictive behavior, the less likely I was to do it mindlessly. That extra step forced a moment of mindfulness. It made me pause and ask myself, do I really need to check this right now? Or am I just acting on a mindless impulse? Most of the time, the answer was a resounding no. Then came the notifications. I turned off all non-essential notifications. Every single one. No more random pings, buzzes, and banners pulling me back into the digital world. Think about it. Every notification is a tiny, seductive invitation to get distracted. By disabling them, I removed the temptation altogether. Suddenly, I wasn't constantly reacting to my phone's demands. It was just a silent, black object in my pocket. It became a tool that I could check when I decided to, not when my phone dictated it. I was taking back control, one notification at a time. I also put my phone on do not disturb mode for most of the day. No unnecessary calls, no text popping up every few minutes. And you know what? The world didn't end. In fact, I felt an incredible, profound sense of freedom. If something was truly urgent, people could still call twice to get through. But 99% of the time, that notification that felt so important in the moment wasn't important at all. I even went a step further. I removed the most addictive apps altogether. TikTok, gone. Twitter, deleted. If I absolutely needed to check something, I forced myself to use the clunky, slow, and frustrating desktop version on my computer. That added friction made me think twice before logging in. And to my surprise, I found myself checking social media way less. The urge, the constant nagging pull, just started to fade into the background. I also completely changed my phone's default settings. I used the built-in screen time functions to set hard, unforgiving limits and restrictions on the apps I struggled with the most. I made my home screen nearly empty, with just a few essential, non-distracting apps like Maps, my calendar, and my Notes app. The result? Every time I instinctively picked up my phone out of habit, there was nothing exciting to tap on. My muscle memory of opening social media apps started to fade. And let me tell you, these tiny, seemingly insignificant changes, they work. My phone went from a dopamine slot machine to, well, kind of boring. And that was the entire point. The less exciting it was, the less time I spent glued to it. But just making my phone annoying wasn't enough. I had to find something better to replace the void. Listen to me on this because this is absolutely crucial. Quitting cold turkey is almost impossible. If you just delete all your social media and try to white knuckle it, your brain will scream for that dopamine hit it's so used to getting. The void will feel enormous and unbearable. So instead of just removing the distractions, I actively and intentionally replaced them with better habits. Instead of scrolling TikTok, I started watching long-form educational videos on YouTube about topics I was genuinely interested in, like history or science. Instead of mindless scrolling on Instagram, I picked up a real physical book with pages I could turn. Instead of texting for hours, I started calling people. Remember real conversations where you can hear the tone and the laughter in someone's voice? The key is to keep your brain engaged. You have to give it something better, something more nourishing than the empty calories of endless scrolling. This is where things got real. This is where the transformation truly began. I challenged myself to a 30-day digital detox. For 30 days, there would be no mindless scrolling. If I caught myself instinctively opening an app and scrolling without a clear purpose, I had to immediately put my phone down, get up, and do something productive. Go for a walk, do 10 push-ups. Read a single page of a book, anything to break the pattern and reset my brain. The first week was brutal. It was absolute torture. My brain was begging, screaming for that easy dopamine hit. I felt restless, anxious, and bored out of my mind. I had phantom vibrations in my pocket, thinking my phone was buzzing when it wasn't, but I stuck with it. And after about 2 weeks, I started noticing crazy changes. My focus was insane. I could sit and work on a single task for hours without feeling the urge to check my phone. My sleep improved dramatically. I was falling asleep faster and waking up feeling genuinely rested for the first time in years. And the most surprising thing, I actually felt happier. More present, more engaged with the world around me. By the end of those 30 days, I wasn't even tempted to scroll anymore. The desire was just gone. My brain had reprogrammed itself. It had rewired its own reward pathways. It no longer needed the cheap, unsatisfying thrill of the infinite scroll because it was getting genuine satisfaction from real-world activities and accomplishments. All right, If you only take one single thing away from this entire video, let it be this. You must control your phone, or it will, without a doubt, control you. It is a battle for your time and your focus, and you have to choose to win it. Set limits. Be intentional. Use your phone as a tool, not a toy. And hey, if you're serious about breaking free, I have a challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, just track your screen time. Don't try to change anything. Just observe. You might be shocked, even horrified at what you find. If this video helped you, do me a favor and drop a comment below. How many hours a day are you spending on your phone? Let's see who's got the worst addiction. There's no judgment here. Remember, I was at 7 hours. And if you're ready to take back your life, hit that subscribe button. I've got more life-changing content coming your way very soon. All right, that's it for me. Now go touch some grass. Seriously. But before you do, just take one final moment to reflect. How much of your precious, finite life is being controlled by a glowing rectangle? How many beautiful, real-life moments have you missed because you were too busy staring at your phone? Breaking free isn't about rejecting technology and living in a cave. It's about reclaiming your time, your focus, and your life. Imagine what you could achieve if you weren't constantly distracted. Imagine the relationships you could strengthen, the skills you could build, the dreams you could chase. If you've made it this far into the video, that means something inside you is ready for a change. So take this as your sign. Start today. Take small, manageable steps. Be intentional with your actions. And most importantly, be patient and compassionate with yourself. Breaking an addiction isn't easy, but trust me, it is so worth it. I believe in you. You've got this. And if you ever need a dose of motivation, come back to this video, rewatch it, and remind yourself why you started this journey in the first place. All right, now go. Go live. Go experience the world beyond the screen. I'll see you in the next one.